What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 3 of the Stephen Brownings podcast. I'm Stephen Browning. This is my dad, Big Stephen Browning, a.k.a. Big Guy, a.k.a. Dude. We also got little Scotty over there with us who just crushed a plate of mom's spaghetti. And, we got a big week.
Yeah, we got a good week coming up here, too. But I don't think anything any better than that fine hairdo you've got.
Oh, that's because I got it by Caleb with the Clippers. Located in Man, Caleb with the Clippers, he's the best barber in Logan County. He can do what you need. You got a dance coming up like Scotty, go to him. If you just want to look good on the weekend, go to him. He will get you right. He can do anything from fade to a mullet to whatever you need. If you're moving back in the corners, he can touch it up with the spray one time. He can do it all. He's got the nicest cuts in Logan County, and I stand on that. We'll have the link in the bio. We'll have all the stuff to contact him there. Caleb with the Clippers. Get at him. Well.
All right, college sports.
College. We start with college or pro?
Pro sports.
NFL?
Pro sports.
All right.
Yeah, we'll have to go with the Browns Thursday night.
We got to.
Quick and breeze over it.
Because we caught some flack for talking about him too much, but that's okay.
Brissett played well again, managed the ball game, handed it off to the two as good as most backs in the game. It reminds me of my old Brown days with Mack and Biner running the ball, and it's a good thing to see it. So yeah,
never heard of those fellas. But
never heard of those fellas.
I did read an article today that was talking about how Jacoby Brissett is one of the more surprisingly good quarterbacks in the league.
I think he's definitely in the top half. I haven't really looked it up. I think he's performing in the top half.
And people didn't expect that.
People didn't. And if he could just manage that as he's doing,
he's a game manager.
But he's throwing the ball down the field well. And what helps though is he's got two guys that you can hand the ball off to there and can
completely keep a defense under bound.
And the Steelers aren't the Steelers. They're not the Steelers that they have been.
No, they're going to have to do something at quarterback.
Yeah, they are, but hopefully not this year.
Let them keep running with Mitch Trubisky.
All right, Bears over the Texans.
Who cares?
Titans over the Raiders.
Derek Carr's been bad.
Colts over the Chiefs.
Ooh.
Colts over the Chiefs.
A little animosity at halftime.
I didn't think that was going to be the thing. You always count on Patrick Mahomes. Give him the ball for the last play of the
14
game.
seconds. He showed us with 14 seconds.
Halftime he was disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
He was disappointed. He wanted to try to score. It looked like Bieniemy and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just Bieniemy, but they didn't want to try to risk anything. It was 3rd down and 20 on the other side of the 50, so they thought just run the clock out. He wasn't happy with that, but I don't think it was an argument. I don't think it was any problem.
If I'm Patrick Mahomes, I'm wanting to do the same thing. And so I've proved time after time that I can, in 20 seconds, we can score.
You can score. They went the whole field in 14. Yeah, so there, field goal now looks really big if you get that opportunity. You lose 17-20.
And you lose also with trying
fake
a field goal. You kick the field goal, you're tied, you go into overtime, and you probably beat them.
Yeah, that was funny. And
Matty Ice, though.
Yeah, and then Matt Ryan drives down and scores. It was aided, however, by very questionable penalty thrown there on Chris Jones. Him and Matt Ryan were having some words. Unsportsmanlike penalty gets that. That was 3rd down and a sack on the 3rd down. So they're punting with 5 minutes to go.
That hurts.
Instead, that turns into a 17 play. Is it 17 plays?
8. What was it?
17 play.
8 minutes.
8.5 minute drive for the win. 20
right
seconds to go. Yeah, that kills you. Can't handle it.
Rough week for Patty.
Rough week. Yeah, it was. Dolphins over the Bills, 21-19. What you got on that?
Well, first things first is Tua is the real deal, and I think the Dolphins are the real deal.
I don't know how, as we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
I don't know how this. If I look at it, the Bills should have won by 70 points.
Yeah,
500 yards to
515 to what? 227.
Yeah, I don't know how they only. Scored
it doesn't make sense,
points.
And one fumble, no interceptions. That doesn't make any logical sense.
I don't know how they just didn't
now,
score points. Maybe they were really good between the 20s.
But you also remember halftime, they messed that up. Should have had 3 more.
Yeah, that was a going to snap it, going to spike it. I'm not going to spike it. I fumbled it. I'm going to throw it over here.
I think he panicked.
and he just threw the ball.
I
and
think he still had time to clock it.
spike it. But he threw the ball, got tackled, no time, no field goal attempt. Go to half.
I wonder what he was thinking. Was he thinking that I don't know. Who knows?
So that goes on in, and maybe my favorite play of the whole week was the butt punt. Dolphins putting in the end zone, kicks him right in the rear end with a punt. I've really never seen.
They did that in one. Now
they did that in one.
Tua looked like he was.
I thought he was.
Couldn't walk.
I thought he was.
I thought he was concussed.
I did too. I thought he at least had gotten a pretty good hit on the head.
I thought there was no way he was coming back in that game.
I didn't either. I was looking really for maybe a week out, but
Yeah.
Evidently it wasn't. It was a back injury. Comes back in, and they go on to win. But
It wouldn't surprise me if foul play was afoot.
foul play. You think? Well, the Players Association will check that out.
They're checking into it.
They will. The doctors are going to say this. This is what, and they'll stand by that. I don't think they'll beat that, especially if Tua says, "It's my back. My head was fine."
Yeah, now if he says that, then it's
Yeah,
one thing. But we've seen it before. I forgot who it was sued a doctor not too long ago and won a bunch of money because he misdiagnosed him.
Concussions.
Yeah.
But you go on here though. Bill still had a chance to win.
Mm-hmm. Underthrows him.
Underthrows
Josh Allen.
Underthrows a wide open guy in the end zone. That would have been the go ahead. But anyway, Dolphins are still undefeated. Moving on. Moving on. Vikings over the Lions. I don't even know about that.
Oh, hold on. One thing I do want to say about the Vikings-Lions game. Worst decision of the weekend happened in that game.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, he
should have punted.
He should have punted.
They were up 3.
And
the Vikings had no timeouts, and they were around the 50.
They were on the 30 something because they kicked
36.
it
They kicked it from the
ball
42.
46. The ball was spotted at the 46. So that's a 39 yard where they're at. So they get the ball back on the 46 is where if you don't make it.
Yeah.
Kicked it, gave them a half field to go with a minute to go,
Instead
no
of just
timeouts,
punting.
and they go down and score. Yeah, that's
Bad
a bad play.
decision.
Bad play.
The Lions wanted
play.
to lose.
Yeah. Ravens, Patriots. Lamar's Lamar.
Lamar he's on a different level.
Bengals got healed up. Joe Burrows looked like Joe Burrows again, and they smoked the Jets.
They got a tough one though coming up. They got the Dolphins coming up.
And the Eagles may be as good as anybody in the game this year. And I really like this fact. It's strange, but two quarterbacks playing really well, both at the same team. Alabama Crimson Tide is Hurst and
Tua.
And there they are. You know, they one of them beats the other one out. Yeah, what hurts? One of them beats one of them out, and he's gone to another school.
And next
Arkansas,
thing you know, they're battling to be the best. Well,
up there.
Lamar's the best one in the league right now, but they're battling up there, and they got both. They're both winners. They come from winning programs.
Saints, Panthers.
Baker
got to win finally.
Baker got to win.
I like him. Jaguars over the. A surprise, Jaguars over the Chargers. I really thought the Chargers might be a Super Bowl team this year.
I think
one and two out of the gates. I don't know.
I think Trevor Lawrence could be good.
He's going to get better.
I think he can be good.
Rams and Cardinals. I think they gave the man too much money right at the get-go.
At the gate? They gave him a lot.
Same team that beat him yesterday, I think exposed him poorly last year in the playoffs. And Murray just did not look like an NFL quarterback last year in that last playoff game. He looked, sometimes you have bad games. He looked really bad in that game.
He looked like he didn't belong to be
there. And in this one, he played well, but they scored 12 points. 20
Yeah, you can't win. You're not going to win many games scoring 12.
No. Falcons over the Seahawks. Geno, I don't know. Back to Geno. What he had? Geno
didn't play terrible.
Geno was 32 for 44 for 325 yards.
Yeah.
Geno played well.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns. He played well. That ain't him.
Got beat by Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, Tannehill was good. Packers over the Bucks. I really thought. I know they were missing a lot of people, but this was a 14-12 game.
That was an ugly one.
Ugly game.
That was one of the uglier games I've watched, especially a Brady or Rodgers game.
And you talk about a Brady game at the end of the game. He got one break, which should have been a flag on a delay of game for the touchdown, and right back at it again. The next one for the 2-point conversion. Another penalty.
That's uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
That's
You
something
already
you
know.
never
You
see.
know if you're going to score. If you know if you score, we're going for 2.
You got to.
And you got to have.
You know that. You know that the whole series. Like at
Yeah,
the beginning of the
it's no
drive, you
secret.
know if we score, we have to go
Yeah,
for
it's
2.
no
So
secret.
why is there not a
play
two
already
point-
ready to go, and you take
Because then you go from 8, and that
Good.
makes that
Two,
tough.
3.5 to
2.5 to
3.5 to 8.5. I think.
Is it
what
3.5?
Yeah. So you go back that way, and it's and you know that makes that from you could run it, you could do a lot of stuff to now
You're
we're not
passing
gonna
the ball.
pass the football.
and you drop back in coverage from the 8, and it's tough.
It looks like the Broncos beat the 49ers on a 9th inning home run. 10-11. Somebody hit one at the end of the game. 10-11. I don't know.
Russell Wilson has been
Unwrestled.
bad.
Unwrestled. He was. He had. I don't even have him in. Garoppolo was in there. I don't know what Russell Wilson.
He
had.
was bad.
Yeah. Let's see. He ended up with
This is
184 yards on 33 attempts.
he even in Seattle,
Yeah.
he had some not great teams, but he would make it work. I don't understand what the drop off is now that he's in Denver. It's got to be the
new
air,
coach, new system, maybe the air, but
altitude.
the game here I wanted to see a little bit. Jerry Jones did say if he was guaranteed a win, he would walk from Texas to New York.
Is he walking?
I don't know if he's walking back, but
Is he walking?
look, Cooper Rush, 21 of 31 for 215 yards and a touchdown, won the ball
He
game
looked good.
23-16. Cowboys are in that. They're in that.
Trayvon Diggs has the best hands for a defensive back that I've seen in
He's
a
good.
long time.
No, he's good. He's good.
Well, does that do it for
That does it for me and the pros.
a lot of strange quarterback play in the NFL
It was.
this past week?
And go back to strength. I think what's even more remarkable than that is everybody's kicking 60-yarders. 50 yarders. Every team's got somebody kicking 55, 60 yarders.
In the first 3 weeks, there's been 31.
31.
50 plus yarders.
50 plus yards.
That means we're on pace for
Well, throw it, roll that out there. That's
18 games.
yeah, so you're talking 10 a weekend, so it's 180 possibly.
Yeah.
50 plus.
It's like you expect them to.
Yeah. And the
like
wide receivers though,
T. Higgins. Oh,
making plays, making catches. Like you used to rarely see those catches, and now
it's once a game. You see something like
everybody's
that.
got somebody making a wild catch, getting his toes in,
The
one-handed
evolution.
catch, and his
Body's parallel.
Yeah, parallel to the ground.
That was probably the best catch of the week. The kid that from the Steelers made.
It was great. Pickens, what is it?
Yeah.
Pickens.
Yep.
So now,
Moving on to NCAA.
NCAA football.
Let's talk about Marshall.
Third.
Oh,
You know, I have always lifelong been a WVU and a Marshall fan. Lifelong. I've cheered for each other when they're not playing each other. But routinely, I watch Marshall do this, especially since they've stepped up to when they weren't
Division One.
Yeah, Division One AA.
Yeah.
You know, but at this point now, you know, they go 1-0 into Notre Dame, and they hand it to Notre Dame.
from the beginning of the game to the end.
Then they come back, and they go to Bowling Green, and some turnovers cost them there. LeBourne had a really good football game, but he fumbles one through the end zone, which again is the worst rule in all of football, that you don't have to recover it. If I fumble it,
The defense.
the defense
automatically-
gets it if
Yep.
it goes to the end zone. That's crazy. So anyway, that cost them the ball game really there. But they were inept at Troy
They couldn't do anything.
offensively. Well, they scored one. They scored.
It was
16
16 to 7. And Columbia, who played pretty solid in the games before that, was 8 for 13 with 49 passing yards.
QB rating had to be high.
QB rating of 10.
I don't know if I've ever seen a guy
That's the worst.
have
That's the worst game I've ever heard.
49 yards passing.
You don't win game. You don't win college football games like that
No, unless you're just absolutely running it down people's throats.
unless it's 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yeah, so Troy's obviously pretty good. They should have beat App
App
State
State.
at there. App State
Didn't
got
do
lucky on a Hail Mary at the end, so Troy should have. And then JMU is obviously pretty good.
They beat App State.
Sun Belt.
It's gonna be nice.
Who's going to win that?
Coastal's still good. Georgia Southern.
The Old Dominion?
ODU beat Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is trash. If you
Yeah,
ask
they
me,
are.
though.
They are. They are. They're struggling. And still somehow, if they finish, near 500, they'll be ranked in the top 10 and considered for the national championship series there.
I don't know about that.
Oh, they kill me with that. The same teams. Notre Dame every year has to lose.
Oh, they got to lose their way.
Yeah,
But Notre Dame also has an NBC contract.
Yeah, but still, though, rankings shouldn't come out until Game 5. Game 5. No rankings till Game 5.
No too early rankings?
Yeah, and then that way nobody gets a really good head start on you. So now you're looking, and you can go, but look, Kansas is not even ranked. Kansas is not in the top 25.
That's crazy.
They're-
Kansas State is, though. And they've lost the game.
Kansas State lost to Tulane.
And is in the top 25.
Yeah, Tulane beat
And
Kansas
Kansas
State.
is undefeated and has beat good teams.
Yeah, they've all I think they've
Houston.
been all Power 5 schools.
Houston.
West
W.
Virginia. They've got they got some good ones on here. Let me look at who that was. Can't think of it right off the top of my head, but they do.
But
they got
they got good pieces, too. That quarterback's
quarterback
tough.
as good as any right now playing. He's playing as well as any quarterback in it right now.
Did they have a chance to win the Big 12?
You'll find out probably this next ball game. I think they have. Their schedule comes up. I think they're going to be in the mix. They're definitely going to be in the mix. You don't know who's going to do this whole
It's
thing.
early.
Yeah, Baylor you think's pretty good. BYU beat them 26-20.
Mm.
You just
Isn't
don't-
BYU coming into the
they're coming into the Big
Big
12.
12?
So you don't know. But yeah, Marshall struggled in that. I'm sad to see that.
App State got beat, like we said,
JMU.
32-28. Miami of Ohio beat Northwestern.
Another
mid-major.
group of 5
Yep.
beating a Power 5. It's
It-
happened every week. It's happened.
And I thought it was going to be the opposite when the NIL came out.
You even had a bigger one.
Say it.
Middle Tennessee goes down to
The
U,
real Miami.
The U, and just lays one on them. 400, 600, 400
408 yards.
passing. 408 yards.
Hold on. 408 yards. He only had 16 completions.
He had four for more than 60 yards.
He was chucking it down the field.
Was it 4 for more than 60 or 6 for more than 60?
It was one of the
But
two.
either way, they were
He had-
out athleting them.
He had 3 touchdowns.
Better athletes. Would you think that? If you looked at the score,
No.
you think Middle Tennessee's got better athletes.
No chance. The crazier stat.
How many
Now,
rushing
I know that 400 yards on 16 passes is crazy, but Miami had 60 rushing yards.
Yeah, that's you just don't see that gonna happen.
That means that not only were they out athleted,
Manhandled.
they were manhandled.
There's going to be some changes there.
Oh,
they haven't
there's
been really consistently good.
Since
Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
That's a long time. Jimmy
Ah,
Johnson.
No, they
Consistently really good.
Willis McGahee years, those years when they were in the Big East.
Maybe so.
What was the big tight end? Kellen Winslow.
Kellen Winslow.
They were good. They were
They were good.
consistently
They
a
were
top
good.
10 team.
All right, so maybe I went back too far.
Next game we got Texas and Texas Tech. Overtime thriller.
Texas Tech had the ball game won in regulation.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't have got there. Kicked the field goal with 20 seconds to go. No timeouts.
Let 'em march
No
down.
timeouts. Let them go down and kick a field goal. A 40-some yarder to tie it, or maybe 50 to tie it.
And like a 50 is automatic in
almost-
in the
yeah.
NFL. A 40 in college, in big time college, you can pretty much
Plus-
take those to the bank.
And then the overtime, a guy that hasn't fumbled hardly at all.
Yeah, I think
First
that
play,
was his first fumble of the season.
fumbles it. Texas Tech goes down. They could have scored a touchdown. They went down and got it on the 2, the one of the 2, and then kick a field goal to win it. As a Big 12 fan, it don't bother me. You leave-
Horns down for
Horns
you.
down. Go on to the SEC and take that loss with you. I hope you carry.
Let me
that
see a horns
7
down
more.
on the camera.
Is that? Can I get that?
No, it's this one right here. It's just
Is
those
it
two.
right there? Just
It's
those two?
two.
Take it with you. Go on, and I hope Oklahoma do the same thing. I hope they finish the bottom 2 in the Big 12 this year and send them on out because they're gone. I know the contract says 2025, but they're going to be in the SEC next year.
They're going to work out that TV deal.
Well, they do. They have that because the SEC's already canceling games, so they can put them on their schedule for next year. So that brings up them with West Virginia.
West Virginia. Hold on, we got to talk about West Virginia's pass game.
Yeah, Virginia Tech. Tech's not Tech since Frank Beamer's been gone, and even last year's they're not the same Tech team that was in the Big East all the time. But still, it's a good win. West Virginia's losses now, everybody was all over him. Pitt loss is not a bad loss. Pitt's only losses to a really good Tennessee team, a top 10 team, and that was a 7-point ball game. The other losses to an undefeated Kansas team in overtime. West Virginia, if it's not for a drop pass against Pitt,
They win that game.
they win that game. Could have easily won the Kansas game. West Virginia could easily be sitting 4-0 right now. So
Virginia Tech's got a West Virginia boy.
Yeah,
Grant Wells.
Grant Wells
Played at Marshall for 2 years.
Um,
Had a terrible game against West Virginia.
he struggled. I hate to see that. I like to see those
Terrible
guys
decision.
from West Virginia do well. Although they were playing West Virginia, I was hoping the loss would come from somewhere else. But he struggled. I think he rushed. I think he might have
He
been
was their leading rusher.
15 yards, 16 yards.
They had 35 rushing yards,
Yeah.
and he had 15 of them.
So that's
You
not-
can't win games like that. That's just like Miami's. You can't win games like
No.
that. And Marshall's. You can't win games with 49 passing yards. You can't win games with 35 rushing yards.
So that brings me to West Virginia and Texas next week. I'm going to talk about that.
Hold on.
I can't go with that yet.
Not yet.
I gotta go.
I'm impressed by the way WVU is running the ball.
They are moving the football. They got it, but now they got several guys.
There's a couple of them. They do it
got
by
several
committee.
guys that run that football.
Donaldson
Uh,
is the workhorse.
And that's a converted tight end, or you can't even call him converted. He's the running back, big guy, freshman, and he's carrying the load. He's a little bit shiftier than you think he is.
The only quarrel I have with him, the way he runs the ball, he hits the line standing straight up way too much. He's huge. He's Derrick Henry-like. If he would hit that line low with a little momentum, I don't think people would bring him down.
I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing right.
doing it,
I wouldn't change it yet.
I
No,
wouldn't either.
they're run. Plus, I think Daniels is what they've needed.
20 for 30 with 203.
Yeah, Jarrett Dagey struggled, and then this is showing you something right now. He's now the backup at Troy.
Mm-hmm.
But now the guy that started at Troy played pretty well, but Jarrett Dagey's the backup there, and so he's not getting to play there. So that tells you something about his performance in the Big 12, how he was able to do that. But I like Daniels. I think if West Virginia gives him any time, if the running game can at least move the ball somewhat, then he's going to be successful. And I'm hoping for a Casey Legg field goal to win the game, and that would be a nice last shot at Texas as West Virginia sees.
So is that what you're calling?
I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm gonna call. I think West Virginia wins it, and I'm hoping it's on a late field goal. When has Texas been good? When was the last time they were good?
Vince Young. They were good with Colt McCoy.
Okay, but that's still a long time.
Oh, yeah, that's 10
every year, Texas.
They're one of the gassed up
they're
ones.
this, and for the last however many years I can think of, they've underperformed.
Every year.
Underperformed.
Which is,
So-
you know what's crazy? They are the highest earning football program in the
Yeah.
country.
They're huge. The school's huge. Big
With the
alumni.
NIL, this is what I don't get. With the way the NIL works, is they can pay people now. They have the most money. Why are they not getting all the best players?
So what that tells you
I
is
don't
what that
understand.
tells you is maybe the scouting criteria is wrong. Maybe you've got to look for fits to your program as much as that
Just-
the best player. Maybe the best player comes with baggage that I got an NIL now. I'm worth $1 million. I'm who's carrying my luggage over here or making my dinners tonight or whatever. But they're one of the teams that I think underachieve. For the last several years, they've underachieved. And so
Consistently.
why do I expect anything different? They got a new coach again. They thought they had the coach of the future. He didn't last but 2 years or whatever, and he's gone. They're going to try out somebody else. Look, coaching's a tough business.
So as a West Virginia fan, you can't just think you're going to come in and steamroll.
You're not going to steamroll them.
So what do you got to do to win?
I think West Virginia has to, one, be able to run the football. And that don't mean they got to have 200 yards rushing. But they got to be successful enough that keeps the rush off of Daniels. And then I think that they can throw the football in that setting and move the football well enough. And I think in the end of the game,
They're going to have to put up, West Virginia's going to have to put up points because Texas is going to put up points.
both teams are putting them up. Both teams are putting.
That's the Big 12 though.
That is. So yeah, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I'm saying West Virginia on a Casey Legg, who is a we could somewhat claim him from Logan. His mother's from
If he's got
Logan.
any roots, we'll claim
His
him.
mother's from Logan, so we're going to say somewhat of a Logan boy with a field goal to win
He
it.
snuck it in there. He snuck it in there.
Field goal to win it.
Field goal to win it.
Yeah.
You got a score?
It's hard to get a score. I'm going to say, I'll say 41-38.
I'm going.
Well, come on, we ain't got all day.
41-38. I'm going 45-38. I'm
Okay.
going Texas.
All right, you're going Texas. All right. My favorite game of the week, I believe, this past week, if you go on Saturday, was Clemson and Wake. I really like Wake's quarterback.
They pushed them too.
Yeah, they should have won the football game. I think they shut it down there in the second half. But
55 or 51-45.
that was
a
overtime.
shootout.
That was overtime, and I thought they really should have probably won that ball game in regulation, but it didn't happen. And I liked watching them play. I think Wake's going to surprise some people. If Clemson is in the playoff hunt.
See, but I don't think Clemson is where they usually are, and I think they still get the recognition
It's
for
one
it.
of those teams that do that.
There's a couple
Always
of them.
do that. Always do that. So anyway,
You got any other NCAA football games?
no, that I can think of here. I'm looking. Kansas beat on the way out. Kansas State beat Oklahoma on the way out. They were number 6. They'll probably drop to 6.5.
They'll drop a half
Half
a
a point. They're not going to fall farther than
No.
that. 6.5 will be where they're at.
in Kansas
They
State.
may be out now. What is it? I don't know.
It may be.
Yeah, so I thought Kentucky struggled with Northern Illinois, but Tennessee's back to being Tennessee.
I haven't seen Tennessee. They got a West Virginia boy, but I haven't seen Tennessee be Tennessee ever in my life.
I know it's been a long time.
And they always get the recognition.
You were probably in the second grade. I think they won the national championship in either '97 or '98. And so you were probably.
I don't really remember that.
No, you were 6 years old maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So first grade.
93, 97, 98. I was 4 or
98.
5.
So 98 you would have been probably
5.
Yeah, you've been 5. So, and that was when they won that. And they haven't been really good since then. They've struggled, but they're back to it right now. They're playing
And they
well
got
right
a
now.
they got a West Virginia boy
Yeah.
who's down there
A
eating on the
lineman,
line.
right?
Yeah.
Lineman, he's from Huntington,
Darnell.
Spring Valley.
Yeah. Huntington.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's see.
you got any other ones?
That was all the interesting ones that I had.
Well, then let's talk about some local sports.
All right.
Logan takes their first loss of the year.
I was leery. Winfield got a good football team, and they were power back with a complimentary kind of a scat back behind.
They had a couple guys who were quick. They could
1-2
run.
punch that they do. there.
Quarterback could run too.
Through one pass and like a down, and then one pass for the 2-point conversion there. That I don't know why they did the 2-point conversion.
I don't either.
Strange to me.
I had no idea.
Up 27-7 with
and
late in the fourth, and you
go
go,
for
2 for 2. But anyway, they did. Winfield's pretty good. I don't know how good they are, but I thought Logan struggled with protection, and I'm not so sure
it was pressure immediately.
Yeah.
When Jackson Coger caught the ball, he had people right in his face.
So he threw a lot of his passes off his back leg, off his back foot. I thought that's tough to do anyway. And I thought those wide receivers helped him out. I thought that they made some really good catches out there. But I don't think you could put this all on the offensive line. And I know that that's what the first inclination is. But when you don't have a threat of really running the football, and you don't bring that to it, then people know you're going to throw the ball.
Yeah.
And so they're going to pin back, and they're going to come at you, and over and over and over. And so it's harder to block when they know that there's no chance that somebody's going to hand it off and run.
And
past
when they
them.
do run, it's
a
with
quarterback.
Jackson.
It's a lot of times with.
So you
Jackson.
can just pretty much lock in on him and go after him, and that takes away your whole run game.
So I like to see him spread the ball around, passing a little bit more, but I also like to see him have that threat of running the football. I think
They got a couple guys who I think you could handle.
I think you can hand the ball. I think you can put Slack back there and run the football.
I think
But
you
I think Ryan Roberts, you can hand him. Is he or is it Connor
Connor
Mullins?
Mullins.
Connor Mullins, I think you can hand the ball off to him back there and let him pick up some yards and run slack in motion maybe and hand it to him. But look, coaching football is a tough thing.
It's a tough
Of all the sports, you've got so many moving parts out there.
You got so many more people you got to manage.
I think it's the toughest thing to do. So, but anyway, I would like to see that transition a little bit. But
Right? I didn't think Logan played too bad defensively,
no, especially with the big guy. Now the big guy was punishing people.
bottling him up.
But-
But he didn't. He never really broke
break
free.
anything off on us.
The other guy, he was getting outside. He was getting the edge,
and getting the edge,
and he was just turning upfield.
and so that 1-2 like that, you're you know, and they sort of disguise it a little bit. You know, you don't know who's getting the ball, and then you're gearing up for the big guy to come bringing 240 pounds at you, and they toss the little guy and he gets some yards. But gets easier this week.
Yes, it does.
Homecoming.
Nitro.
Got Nitro.
It's a big game.
Big game. Need to win. But you'd like to win all of them, all the remaining games.
Obviously,
I think you really need to win 4 of those. You
need to go 8-2
8-2 puts you
on the upper half of that season.
Yeah, you know, you're going to be at least probably 10 or better. And so then that way you're playing somebody right around there. But it'd be better to be in the top 8 so you got that home game.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing.
You know, if you win that first ball game,
you feel like you're there.
and who knows what happens elsewhere. Somebody may get upset. Somebody may get a kid thrown out of a game. Whatever. But you never know. And then you get that first win in there and you move on down. But you know, if you come in there at 7-3, then you're going to have to play play at somebody else's place. Makes the whole ball game a lot tougher to go there.
And they've got it. And the schedule doesn't get much easier.
No, it's
At the end, they've got Scott.
I think you got 2 wins on there for sure. I think
Nitro and
Liberty Raleigh.
Herbert Hoover, I think I think they'll beat Herbert Hoover.
I think
It's going to be tough because Herbert Hoover's just a football school.
I think they'll be favored in
Herbert Hoover and Chapmanville.
Herbert Hoover and Chapmanville. I think they'll be
Scott will
underdog
be-
to
yeah.
Scott. So now, you got to win. You have to win the Scott and Herbert Hoover games. Those get you probably a pretty good seeding. But I want to go to baseball real quick.
Let's do it.
My man, the Machine.
Oh,
The
that's my
Machine.
favorite player ever, Albert Pujols.
700 joined an exclusive.
Very exclusive.
You start with the Babe. Then you go to Barry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, was Barry? No, you go to Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to Barry.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Pujols.
Albert. That's
Back
it.
to back. He hit them back to back at Los Angeles. The entire stadium was cheering. It was a great moment.
There was a guy at the beginning of this year who called that game.
How about that?
Who said, you can look it up. He said that Albert Pujols would hit his 700th home run away at Dodger Stadium. He just said it was going to be what's his name pitching? Kershaw.
How about
Whatever.
that? How about that?
He was wrong about that, but he was right about the other one.
Yeah. How about that baseball? Pujols said whoever's got it can keep it. If
Oh,
they
they've
want
got $1 million in their hand.
it. Yeah. He said if that guy wants it, they can keep it. It's
That's-
theirs. Souvenir.
It's incredible what he's done in the second half of the season.
He's hit about 20. Okay, I think he had the
He
All-Star
had
break. He
4.
had 4 or 5 at the
He
All-Star
had 4.
break. He got hot in the All-Star game. In the
I'm telling
home
you,
run.
that's what
got
sprung
his
him.
groove.
That's what sprung
And-
him.
and so
He started feeling
He's
good.
he's hit 16 or 17.
Oh no, he's hitting
since
the
then.
20s.
He's got 21 total.
Is he at 21 total?
I think so. He's gotten like maybe 17 since the All-Star break. But
They're batting him differently
yeah,
though.
yeah, they're putting him all over the lineup so
Yeah.
he gets good pitches.
Yeah.
And you know, you're getting ready. If they win the next win they get, really, if it's this weekend,
Clinches it.
they'll clinch if they win one of these next 2 games. And then you can put him where you want to. But it's over now. He don't have to. He can go back to where he wants to go
Yeah.
to. But
This is one of the best
Classy guy.
farewell tours
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
and a classy guy.
It's like Kobe's.
Glad he was a Cardinal.
It's like Kobe's. When Kobe went out and scored 60, this is like
Yeah. It is
700. It's crazy.
700.
This is a moment in sports that
Yeah.
people will talk about for the rest of our
And
lives.
Aaron Judge is trying to break. He's going to break Maris's record of 61 in the Yankee uniform,
Mhm.
American League. lead, but I still think the big thing is Pools' 700th.
I think it is too. And before we finish, I want to talk about
The Man Hillbillies?
Man Hillbillies. They're 4-1.
4-1 or 3-1?
4-1.
Okay, 4-1.
4-1. And they're getting ready to go play a 3-1 Buffalo team, who they should beat. They say they're solid. They say Buffalo's better than their record. They've lost to a couple good schools. And then they're getting ready to go play. After that is Shady Springs, who Shady's not very good.
It's not very good.
So Man could be sitting 7-1, going to play Independence. Now,
Yeah,
they'll probably get beat.
I
in
wish they
Independence.
wouldn't schedule that game.
Me either, but what are you gonna do? We
Yeah.
can't change the schedule.
No, you can't. But I wish they wouldn't have scheduled
7-1. I mean, okay, they're 4-1, but no. So 6-1 going to play Independence, and then they got Chapmanville at the end. But they got a legitimate chance to finish 8-2,
And they'll make some noise in that.
9-1.
They will make some noise.
Because you
in that.
never know what can happen in a Chapmanville Man game.
No,
in a
that's
rivalry game.
right. That's right. That's going to be a wild one.
So man, look, county schools are looking good.
That's great.
County schools are looking good. But you got anything else?
I'm good.
All right, well, that does it for episode 3. Come back and see us. Located in Man, Caleb with the Clippers. He's the best barber in Logan County. He can do what you need. You got a dance coming up like Scotty? Go to him. If you just want to look good on the weekend, go to him. He will get you right. He can do anything from fade to a mullet to whatever you need. If you're moving back in the corners, he can touch it up with the spray one time. He can do it all. He's got the nicest cuts in Logan County, and I stand on that. We'll have the link in the bio. We'll have all the stuff to contact him there. Caleb with the Clippers. Get at him.